Hello, my name is Elizabeth Lewis, and I'm here to tell you the dreadful story of the Salem Witch Trials. My family and I lived through the trials, and we were fortunate to avoid the hysteria and keep a relatively low profile. I'd like to share the timeline of events with you so that we can all better understand the atrocities that took place in the town of Salem, Massachusetts in the year 1692. It all began on January 20th, 1692, when two girls, Abigail Williams and 9-year-old Elizabeth Parris, began exhibiting bizarre behavior, throwing fits and acting afflicted. Elizabeth Parris then declared that Tituba, a servant, was to blame for their behavior. By February 29th, 3 women had been accused of witchcraft: Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne. On March 11th, Ann Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, Mary Walcott, and Mary Warren began to show symptoms of affliction as well. By April 3rd, Martha Corey, Rebecca Nurse, a 4-year-old, Dorcas Good, Elizabeth Proctor, and Sarah Cloyce have all been accused of witchcraft. On April 11th, John Proctor became the first man to be accused of witchcraft. It was around this time that we thought my mother might be named as a witch, and we were terrified. It was only by the grace of God that we were wrong. Over the next few weeks, many more were called upon as witches and were examined by the court of Hawthorne and Corwin. On June 2nd, 1692, Bridget Bishop was the first to be tried and convicted of witchcraft. She was sentenced to die. 8 days later, she was hanged at Gallows Hill. A little over a month later, Rebecca Nurse, Susanna Martin, Elizabeth Howe, Sarah Good, and Sarah Wilds were all hanged at Gallows Hill as well. On August 19th, George Jacobs, Martha Carrier, George Burroughs, John Willard, and John Proctor were all hanged. Elizabeth Proctor was not hanged, however, because she was pregnant. On September 19th, Giles Corey was pressed to death after he refused to enter a plea to the charges of witchcraft against him. After 2 days under the weight, Giles died, and within the next 3 days, 8 more people were hanged. It wasn't until October 8th that Governor Phipps ordered the spectral evidence no longer be admitted in witchcraft trials. He also prohibited further arrests and released many of the accused. He also dissolved the court of Oyer and Terminer. He was our savior. It wasn't until 1706 that Ann Putnam Jr., one of the leading accusers, publicly apologized for her actions. Not that that apology would bring back any of the lives that were lost. The Salem Witch Trials were one of the darkest periods in Massachusetts history.